it's an icon.
It was a game changer.
Graceful, phenomenal. There's nothing as beautiful as 747.
The Queen of the Sky.
The Boeing 747. No other aircraft captured our imagination quite the same way as this big, beautiful bird. And she's been doing it almost 50 years. She transformed air travel forever. At United, she was the original friendship.
You really only need to ask the folks who have served on the plane over the years to know what it means to say, I fly on the 47, whether it's pilots or in-flight crew or everything in between. It really was the brass ring of sorts and the apex of a lot of people's career.
September 30th, 1968, the first giant 747 is presented to the world.
1, 2, 3. The 747 made her debut in 1968, to a collective gasp from the people and press who had gathered in Everett, Washington, to see what is still considered one of the great engineering marvels of our time.
747, the engineering was beyond comprehension.
It was just a whole new concept in aviation. It had a backup system for everything you could think of.
It was the easiest airplane I ever flew.
Even on Boeing's test flight, pilot Jack Waddell knew she was special.
Well, that thing is just ridiculously easy to fly. It's just a pilot's dream.
Less than 2 years after its unveiling, Continental Airlines flew its first 747 from Chicago to Los Angeles to Honolulu. Continental turned heads with its ultra-modern interior design, as well as its chef-inspired gourmet meal service.
I remember just watching that 4-engine Queen of the Skies take off and just felt like, that's what I want to do. I want to work for an airline someday.
United soon followed and flew its inaugural flight from San Francisco to Honolulu in July 1970.
We flew with our muumuus on. Pretty fun.
We had 3 elevators that take your meals from one level to the next, a spiral staircase.
Very glamorous, and people always wanted to see the upper deck.
You could play cards up there, you could have a casual cocktail.
It was like your private jet going across the world.
It didn't matter whether you were a pilot, a passenger, an aviation geek, or just a kid looking up at the sky. It was, and still is, impossible not to be awestruck by the sheer size and unmistakable silhouette of this, the first wide-body passenger jet. What other aircraft has carried 5 presidents, a space shuttle on its back, and housed an airborne observatory for NASA? But times change, and innovation never goes out of style.
The 747 really was a revolutionary airplane and a bridge to the future. I'll feel sad that she won't be flying anymore, but proud of all that she accomplished in her decades of service.
So in 2017, the United family and our customers are offering this regal queen a fond farewell.
I remember my dad and I sitting on the hood of his car and watching the 747s take off.
Bittersweet feelings of saying goodbye. But I think everybody is to that point where we're just trying to really enjoy our last moments.
The last United flight will be a nod to her first. On November 7th, we'll mark an end of an era with a retro trip from San Francisco to Honolulu. More than an aircraft, her influence can be felt in the many lives she's touched, flying people to the moments that matter most.
It's a pretty special experience, and I'll miss that.
I feel very honored to have been able to work on the Queen of the Sky for 25 years. Every time I walk on that airplane, I felt like I was home. And we are so sad to see her leave.